Nah, it's good. You know, I'm an open book. We can do whatever.
You're an open book. All right, that's dangerous. That's dangerous to say. I like that.
I'm an open book unless I close it, and then I'm playing.
That's fair. Break into this. So welcome to Yelling at Concrete podcast, Debbie.
Thank you for having me, Grandma. I appreciate you, man.
That's cool. I mean, as I said, as we discussed a little bit, you, as a guest, you've kind of come to me. I didn't search you out, but at the same time, you didn't come to me directly yourself. You were
Right.
brought here by another presence,
Right.
because you're well handled, as it were.
Got handlers.
You got handlers. How much of your life is controlled?
Not that much. I'm still a little bit wild, you know. But yeah, I got some good handlers.
Some good handlers. People who look after you. That's the important thing, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So you can focus on the good things.
Exactly.
That's the thing. No, I like it. I like it a lot of that. Because so like again, I mean, I had to do research on you
Thank you.
to figure out just who I was getting,
Right.
essentially, for the show. Because obviously someone sends me a press release and I read a press release and I'm like, okay, I can get an idea of that. But I dived into your music. I listened through that. I watched a couple of other shows you'd been on because I wanted to get a bit of an idea of who you were as a person.
Awesome.
But I'm terrible at introducing people. So for the people listening, who are you, Ebbie? What do you do?
Ebbie Akbar, man. I'm an artist, musician, specifically rap, but I like to call myself an artist because I don't just rap. I'm heavily based in music. I grew up playing instruments and kind of singing in the choir and everything, so I'm well versed. So I don't like to just only classify myself as a rapper. I feel like it's just super kind of one dimensional, and I don't do justice to myself if I just classify me as a rapper. So I'm an artist.
That makes sense. I can appreciate that. I don't like
Yeah.
the idea of being typecast in anything I do. Like,
Right.
yeah, you do a little bit of everything. I mean, yeah, I listened to and watched your videos, and kind of got into like a little bit what your musical style is and everything. They do seem very well rounded. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not like a daily rap listener, but I listen
Right.
to enough rap that I do know about kind of the culture and bits and bobs like that. But at the same time, your music is very much rap, which I don't naturally lean towards. Like
Right.
I listen to a lot of independent rap, but it's more kind of like really small artists. And I had a previous guest on, which was kind of nerdcore artists and people who are in that kind of that deal. Whereas more heavier rap is stuff which I've listened to, but when I was younger and as I got older, I kind of drifted away from, which is interesting to get back into it, to dive into that kind of
There we
heavier
go.
style. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you.
I mean, what is kind of what? I mean, is it not a tough question? What do you classify your genre of rap as? Do you see yourself as genre, or do you just see it as you do what you want to do?
Yeah, I kind of do what I want to do. I play around with a lot of different melodies in my raps. Um, but other than that, yeah, I uh, I try not to. I try and just go off of the type of beat that I have, whatever the song is, how I'm gonna come off, and it might be different depending on the beat, depending on the style of the song. But I think one thing that is constant is that I do seem to kind of use melodies, I would say, in a lot of my rap songs for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Harmonies, kind of different harmonizing with voices and everything like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that mentioned kind of like you grew up doing music and kind of choir and those kinds of things. You can definitely hear that within
Yeah,
your tracks. It's got that layered notion to it of like crowds and building a sound and all of that kind of work. But
yeah,
yeah, so you're based out in, I want to say California. I don't know
yeah,
where around in California. It's a big place. Like,
yeah. Like San Diego and Los Angeles.
all right, so you're like right on the coast, like
Oh
pushed
yeah,
pushed out there. But
yeah,
you're not
yeah.
originally from California, you're from Detroit.
No, yeah, yep.
So
But
you,
I was born in Detroit, raised there a little bit, but also raised in Cali. So I'm like an eclectic mix of both worlds.
yeah. I mean, I would say your style, I wouldn't automatically think California.
Right. Right,
It's,
exactly.
I listened to it. I was
When
like,
I
yeah,
go to
like
Detroit, it's funny because when I'm in Detroit, they like, you from California, and when I'm in Cali, they like, where are you from? So, hey, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm a little hybrid, baby.
keep people on their toes. I like it. Yeah. Keep people questioning. I think is a good way of thinking about it.
Keep you guessing, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I mean, when we've obviously been trying to sit down and do this for a while. When
Yeah,
I first got your press release, you just released AP, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
What? And you
Yeah,
recently released another track?
yeah, so I release tracks every Friday. I'm switching up my formula from what I've done in previous years. So already have two EPs out, Trials, Tribulations, and Fun, and I have Golden State EP. I had a mixtape called Finish Him, and I just wanted to switch up my formula. I do a lot of reading and I do a lot of research, and I'd like to take things from different artists that I like and incorporate it in my blueprint of catapulting me to the forefront of where I want to be at in this industry. So I did some research on Russ, and he released a song every week for a year, and just switched up the formula. So like I said, I've released like project based things, but I wanted to try that formula
Yeah.
because content is so like fast now. People just want content, 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 and also people's attention span is kind of short. So I try and think practically, like, okay, who's one of my favorite artists? Mozzie. I don't even listen to an entire Mozzie album. You get what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
that's true.
So for me to think like, and don't get me wrong, I'm confident in myself. I know I'm great. I know my abilities. But for me to think as an upcoming artist that someone's gonna sit down and listen to 6 to 8 tracks, 10
Yeah.
tracks from me, just not yet. I'm still building that foundation, that fan base, and those super fans. You get what I'm saying? So right now, I'm just showing the people what I got, and making them tap in with me like that, and I'm taking from there.
That's a lot of content. Like I mean, that must dominate your life in terms of doing it.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
committed to this, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I get told off for doing too much because I'm constantly working, and at the same time, no, I can completely appreciate that
Yeah,
as
man.
a way of working. I mean, how
Yep.
I saw you were doing like sessions and things, kind of through like your different audience and fans, and like getting on like frequently and putting out tracks and remixes. Was it through Swerve or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah?
Swerve sessions. Yeah. So people will send me beats they want me to kind of like freestyle over, and I do it kind of like a show based type, kind of like vlog sort of thing, and just have fun with it. I have a good time shooting it, try
Yeah.
to make it a little entertaining, some more content, and a lot of people seem to like it.
Do you kind of feed off that like energy of getting feedback constantly?
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, and it keeps me working. It keeps me honest and makes sure I'm doing the work. I'm just right now in the process of giving the universe something to work with. I know it's gonna work back with me. So
I like that. I like that as a way of thinking about it. Just kind of interacting with everything.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, as I say, that's kind of, I did notice that you got a pretty strong, um, what's the word? Kind of relationship with your fans, and you like to get involved with them and be
Absolutely.
fairly open as an artist. And I thought that was quite unique, especially kind of within rap, because I know
Yeah.
obviously rap has a big thing of like shows and getting audience feedback, but to be so open as an artist, I thought
Yeah.
that was quite unique to you.
Definitely.
What kind of led to that? Like, what have you always been like that? Or has this just been like something you've learned over time is better to do?
Yeah. I think it's something I learned over time because honestly, I'm a fairly kind of private person. You know what I mean? But um, I just feel like there's a certain level of vulnerability you need to have with your fans and with people who are supporting you, and they're gonna really want to rock with you. They're gonna really want to support you. You know what I'm saying? I treat my fans like they're my friends. Like, hey, first name basis. What's up? I say hi every time, answer every DM, every comment. Because at the end of the day, I show love, and I know that love is gonna be shown back to me.
That's nice. I like that. I find it interesting that you say you're a private person.
I really am. I really am. Barely. Yeah.
I think what gets me is like it surprises me because I've seen your content,
Yeah.
and there's a very different type of person to who I would think of as a private person.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I know. I'm an introvert extrovert.
Yeah. Is it? I guess I asked this to I had a couple of guests on recently they're kind of like in a folk band,
Uh huh.
and they said that they're getting on stage. They're always nervous regard like getting on stage. It doesn't matter how confident they are in their abilities or anything like that. Going on stage is a process they go through in their heads. They're like, no, we can do this. Kind of get on and go. And but they mentioned once you're out there, that
Hmm.
then you take on a different persona. And I
Yeah.
wonder, is that it's very similar with you when you kind of slip into it when you're performing? You're like, actually, no, I don't need to be private anymore. This is me doing what I do. And
I think when I'm out or I'm navigating like in the industry and music and studio and being on stage, it's on for me. You feel what I'm saying? My confidence is there, my energy is there. I don't get nervous before I get on stage.
no,
Nah, I visualize and I meditate and I just visualize everything that I'm gonna go on that stage and do, and then I just make it happen. And I feed off of the energy of the crowd. If anything,
yeah,
you know, it's very interactive. My stage performances, but yeah, I don't get nervous going on stage.
you don't seem like a person who gets nervous.
No, no, no,
Private, sure, but not nervous.
nah,
Never,
definitely not.
never know. I mean, obviously, for anyone listening to this, I can't think of a decent way to describe your content.
Hmm.
So I'm going to let you describe your content comparative to what we just said.
As far as what, just like my music or the
Yeah.
video, or
When you write and when you create, what do you write and create about? What's important to you in putting out your message and kind of getting out there and putting out your music? Some people obviously it's very internal. It's very their emotions and things they're going through. Other
yeah,
people rap very political, create music of that. It's
right.
like what do you make?
Like I said, I'm super versatile. I make
Yeah.
whatever I want to make. For me, like music is like music is not just one thing. Like it's not just one emotion for me. So like I'm not always gonna be happy. I'm not always gonna be at a party. I'm not always gonna be sad or going through something. I'm not always gonna have a message, or sometimes I might have a message. You know what I'm saying? So music is just like a timeline of the different emotions for me. If I'm at a party and shit, I just had a great time, I might make a song about that. If I just went through some shit and I had a bad day and I'm trying to keep my head up and keep going strong, I might make a song about that. So I don't really limit myself as to what I create.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yep.
It's more reactionary to whatever's around you,
Yeah.
how life is
Definitely.
going at
It's
the time.
whatever's going on with me.
Has it always been that way? Like making music, that you just turn to
Definitely.
it and dive
Definitely.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you grow up on, like music wise? I'm curious now.
You know what? The crazy thing is I don't really listen to a lot of rap because I don't like to I don't want to take on anybody else's style too much.
Makes sense.
I listen to a lot of R&B.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, uh, as far as who I listen to R&B wise, I love her, Miguel, Whitney Houston. Love Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I listen to all different types of genres too. You know what I mean? Some Def Leppard. I listen to Kings of Leon. I listen to a lot of different genres. I don't just limit myself in the genre that I listen to. And actually, I listen to rap the least.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's not the first time I've heard that
Yeah,
from creatives who just say, they don't necessarily want to just live in the world that they're living in. you know,
Right.
because it fails to evolve their work down the line. You know, people
Exactly.
get stale when they just do the same thing over and over again.
Right.
And I mean, I guess that's a good question for you. When you create and when you make things, what pushes you to kind of keep going and keep evolving the work that you're doing? So, I mean, you know, see, some people can kind of fall back on like one thing and like, all right, this was successful, so I'm just going to keep going and doing this one thing over and over
Right.
again. But for yourself, you know, you don't limit. You keep going and experimenting in a way.
Yeah. Um, I think it just comes with the process of everything. I think I know what sounds good. And like I said, I put a lot of emotion into my music. So I'm just hungry to always continue evolving, not only in music, but as a person. And I think a big problem is people can't get comfortable with the idea of change. I think a lot of things would be better and would be different, even if as it pertains to personal relationships, you know what I mean? If you gotta understand people change, and if you my homie Grim, and this week my favorite color is purple, and you know me for 10 years, and then all of a sudden my favorite color is red. Can't take it personally. You just gotta be like, oh shit, your favorite color is red now. You feel what I'm saying? And I
Yeah,
think a lot of people are afraid of change, or they don't embrace it, but I definitely do.
yeah, that makes sense. I think I actually think I remember a lyric something similar to that of when you meet people from kind of 5 years later and they're shocked that you've changed. You're like,
Yeah,
it's been 5 years. Like,
right. Of course.
you
Shit.
expect me to stay exactly the same for
Yeah,
your entire life? What is this?
right.
Yeah. I mean, so how long have you been doing this then? I'm curious. Like as I say, I researched, but I couldn't find as much as I wanted. I want to know everything.
Yeah. It's it's been about maybe like 5 years now.
Yeah.
This year I really been hitting the ground running hard. And I feel like those previous years I was putting in the work, but I wasn't putting in enough work that I should have been putting in. And I was genuinely doing a disservice to myself. But I stopped playing around about it for about a year, and I'm already making monumental
Yeah.
progress, and things are coming my way, a lot of shows. And yeah.
I mean,
So
so
it won't be more than a year before I reach my goal of what I want to do.
what is your goal?
I'm gonna get signed to Empire. Empire, do you know the label Empire?
Yeah, I know the label Empire.
Yeah, I'm gonna get signed to Empire, and I'm gonna get signed on an 85-15 or 80-20 split. Keep my publishing, creative control, all of that. So that's my ultimate goal.
That's a pretty cool goal. I like that. I like that you're so focused.
Oh yeah, man. I gotta be.
It's that mindset, and I guess comparative to myself, I'm fairly abstract in my goals. Like I don't tend to have
Yeah,
a goal. I mean, I
right.
don't look like a person with a plan, right? Like I look like the kind of person you see on the street, and you're like, he has no
Nah,
idea where he's going, and I'm like, yes, I have no idea where I'm going. I'm just seeing where I end up along the way. Right?
yeah. Well, I mean, I used to be like that, but I had to switch it because I'm like, okay, what exactly am I working for? What
Mm,
am I working towards? I believe in manifestation and speaking things into existence. If I don't know what I'm out here trying to do, how can I manifest that or speak it into existence or give the universe something to work with? The universe is just like, okay, well, what are we doing here? You're good, you're talented, cool. What's the goal? What's the end goal? So now that I have my goals in line, my work ethic is there, strong and solid. I got the talent, the creativity, the energy. Like I said, it's not gonna take more than a year.
that's I find it fascinating speaking to you, right? Because we're so opposite in how we view ourselves. Right? Hey, you're so clear in everything you want, and I think that's fantastic. And whereas in my head, I'm just like, no, I'm basically just like a ball of self doubt. Like
Oh no,
that's
man.
what I
See,
do, right? But at the same time, I'm very much I work all the time, I grind, and I'm comfortable with that. But at the same
right.
time, I'm just like, no, I do all of that, even though I'm stood next to myself, going, you know what, you're terrible. Like, But yeah, it's just different world. It is. It's interesting because I like the amount of people I meet who are kind of like on the spectrum of confidence and creativity, and seeing
Yeah,
what does work for some people and what doesn't work for others is just I find fascinating, especially within the music industry.
yeah,
I mean, so you say you've been doing this for 5 years. I mean,
yep,
and you're constantly evolving and improving, and you know never stop learning and all that kind of stuff. Do you think
definitely.
yourself 5 years ago would appreciate who you've become now? Like,
Almost definitely.
yeah,
I think 5 years ago, I've always had that grind and that hustle. You feel me? But once again, my goals weren't focused. So you got to know what you're working towards. And I've been doing a lot of, work on myself, not only as an artist, but as an individual, as a human as well. So I'm definitely, myself 5 years ago is definitely proud of who I am right now. Just the confidence and the grit to keep going. And hey, something didn't work out, let's figure it out another way. I like to say, find solutions, not excuses. And that's how I really live my life.
that's a solid line. Yeah, I like that. I got, I guess, an interesting point of, but it's a lyric which I hear a lot in a lot of music about hustle and grind.
Yeah,
Do you think there's a difference between hustle and grind, or that you
definitely.
need both?
You definitely need both. And I do think there's a difference.
Yeah,
A hustler is going to make something happen, like no matter what. That's cool. But if you hustling and you grinding, when you grinding, that means like you're not taking no for an answer. So you're applying that hustle to whatever you're doing and you're grinding with it. That means you're not taking no for an answer. You're gonna figure out a way to get it done. You get what I'm saying? So they go hand in hand, but I do think they're a little bit different.
yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Because I think it's one of those terms which I think gets thrown around a lot, not just
Yeah,
kind of not just in music and rap and all that, though it is a lyric which I hear a lot. Like it occurs a lot, but I hear it from kind of writers
yeah,
and people in the film industry and all this kind of stuff, and they'll get on about it. And I'm so there. Sometimes when I speak to people, I'm like, I'm not sure you know the difference between the two because
right,
you're saying it and you're saying, oh no, I'm hustling constantly. And it's like, yeah, but what you're putting out isn't actually any good, or
right,
or you're grinding constantly. It's like, yeah, but you're not getting anywhere with it. And
right.
I think respecting that balance is what makes someone, like yourself, who does know that as a person.
Most definitely,
Yeah.
for sure.
So you had. I mean, obviously, we're mid pandemic still because the world
And
is the
pandemic,
world
yeah, yeah,
falling to pieces, as it were. You had loads of shows booked, 2020, didn't you?
yeah, man. I had like 12 different festivals that I was booked on. So, with the pandemic, it kind of put a little dent in all of that, but it's okay because I'm sure I'm gonna get tenfold the opportunities. It just gave me an opportunity to get more stuff in my catalog, and
Yeah,
I still got a lot of shows. I'm headlining Albuquerque Pride. I just did a show for Ronda Vision out here in LA. I'm gonna be doing Lexington Pride. I'm gonna be doing a festival in Detroit, and I got some other shows coming up too, like some smaller shows out here in LA. So it's all good. It's gonna work out.
definitely. I think it's interesting to see how it's kind of dealt with things getting cancelled because some
Yeah,
people just seem to drop off. Like
yeah,
it was kind of sad to see in a way. Like,
definitely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, my I like to say, make solutions, not excuses. So
yeah,
hey, at first I was super bummed out. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was super bummed out. Like, man,
yeah,
I had all these festivals, and after working so hard for so long, I'm finally seeing some. I'm seeing some stuff come through for me, and then boom, the pandemic hit, and I was bummed out about it. But I'm like, look, I got two choices. I can sit here and be bummed out about it, or I could figure something out. I could still be doing work while in preparation for things to open back up. You
yeah,
feel me? So I took the second choice, and did more work, shot more videos, wrote more songs, uh, went to events that were going on, made connections with people, and just did my thing, did what I could do in preparation for everything opening back up.
Yeah. So when things open back up, you're front of the line to be like,
Yeah,
I'm still here. I'm still working
hey,
on this. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. No, I like that. So you released a video fairly recently, I think like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, drip walk.
Yeah. Was that shot during the pandemic then?
It
Like,
was, yeah.
oh damn.
AP
Like,
was too.
really? Like, so I watched those. I was just like, these had to be shot like a year ago. They've just been editing them. Or
Oh no, no. Yeah,
that sounds
that was
insane.
pandemic. I got another video about to come out too. Next week it's called for my song Detached. That one was shot in the pandemic too. So like I said, I did what I could do.
Yeah. How much of that like is the visual in your hands, or is it you working with people? Like,
Oh, so I write the scripts and the concepts for my music videos.
right.
And my director, shout out to Austin. Austin looks familiar. He's great with his editing, or sometimes we'll go in on ideas, or he'll tell me, "Hey, Ebbie, I think this," or do that. But as far as concepts are concerned, I write the concepts of how I want the video to go.
That's cool. I like it. I mean, I think it's good to see when someone has that mindset for both. Like,
Yeah,
I appreciate people obviously who let visual artists do their thing. And I mean, by myself, I'm a visual artist, is what I do. So when I
yeah,
collaborate with someone, they come along and they're like, "Yeah, you just handle it. You do what you do. I like what you do." But when someone comes to you with like a fully formed concept, saying, "Hey, I made this. This is what I want to create. Can you help me create it?" That's
yeah. I'm definitely like that.
yeah,
I take everything I do. Like, I mean, I know you can't do everything by yourself, of course. But I have a hand in everything. I want to make sure that, if it's representing me and it's representing my brand, I want to make sure it's to my liking.
yeah. No, I
So
recognize it.
I make sure I have a hand in everything I'm doing.
See, you say you can't do everything by yourself. That's my biggest downfall. I
Hey
will
man,
try and do everything by myself.
I recently learned that a couple years back. Like I said, just I read a lot. I
Yeah.
forgot what book I was reading. It might have been maybe Rich Dad Poor Dad or Think and Grow Rich. I'm not sure which book it was, but one of the things they were talking about is like you can't do everything by yourself. And I'm sure I could. I mean, you can. I have before,
Yeah.
but when you have a team and you have people working together with you, it's just gonna push you out a lot further. And then you're
Yeah.
not gonna get burned out. You do everything by yourself for too long, man, you're gonna get burned out.
That's kind of my goal, though. Like,
Self care.
I'm very much the way I create is very much along the lines of, yeah, I mean, I could get like sick and die doing this, but yeah, I'll get sick and die doing this. That seems like the right idea, right? That's the plan. And that's
Uh,
to me that just seems like the ultimate sacrifice. If I die creating what I want to create, then I did my job, right?
Absolutely. But just remember, there's nothing wrong with asking for help
No, there's
or
not.
having help from other people. You feel me? So I used to be the same way, to do everything by myself.
Yeah,
And it's cool. But then you also gotta realize like certain people have certain, talents and specialties to them. You get what I'm saying? Like
yeah, definitely.
Austin's great at shooting music videos. Could I learn how to shoot my own music videos? Sure. But the time that you got to think, time is money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm giving up a currency if I'm giving up a lot of my time for
Mm-hmm.
something that someone who's already special and who already has a gift and who already knows how to do it can do it. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
now I got to say, is it worth the money that I'm going to pay for it to get done? Or is it worth the months and months and months of time that I'm going to have to take my mind creatively off
yeah,
music essentially to divulge deep into this? Or, you know what I'm saying? Time is money too. So I look at it like, okay, you compare the time to the dollar sign.
yeah.
And if
No,
it's going to take up too much time, it's probably worth paying for somebody who already is good at it.
yeah. I completely appreciate that. It's a good way of looking at it. Maybe it's probably not something I'll take on board because I'm terrible and stubborn, but there's no way around it. I'm set in my ways. I'm like I'm
Hey,
too old to
hey,
change at this
it's
point.
not
Like,
wrong with it, man. It's not wrong with it. To each his own. Always, always.
I mean, you mentioned kind of collaboration there. I mean, in obviously you feed off like audience feedback. Do you find like collaborating with people like really improves your productivity, or is it something you kind of struggle with, like relaxing a little bit of your creative control in order to achieve what you want?
As far as what, like if I'm doing features?
Yeah, like features or anything like that. Like if you work with different producers and different artists, you're one of those people who kind of dives into it. It's like, yeah, actually, no, we can vibe off each other, and we're going to make something amazing. Or is it you feel like you not got that control, so maybe you're less happy working on it? I don't know. Kind of curious.
No, I definitely like to when it comes to collabing, I like to see what other people have in mind and
Mm-hmm.
um just feed off of that energy. And I never like to think that I know everything or anything like that. I feel like there's always something that could be learned. There's always something that, sometimes I'll tell my producers and my engineers if I'm in a studio, let me know what you think about this. Or I'll ask their opinion just to see where their mind is because they might be thinking of something cool that I hadn't even thought of. So I definitely trying to, incorporate just feeding off energy and working together essentially.
Yeah, it's good to grow. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get different ideas and different things coming in. I mean, you mentioned you do a lot of reading,
Yeah.
and I think I read on maybe it might have been your website or one of your bios that you kind of avidly into your poetry and writing poetry. Do you see a difference between kind of poetry and rap and making tracks?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's like a
I feel like
different
when
approach.
I'm writing poetry, my poetry is hella like sensitive and soft and emotional.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Super vulnerable and like I said, just more like soft and emotional. I'm writing music, man. I could get wild with it sometimes. So like you'll see the soft and emotional side in my music sometimes, some songs, but overall, yeah, it's gonna be completely different.
interesting. Why is that?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I do find it interesting what artists, because like being artists we create, but what we show and what we keep to ourselves are very
Right.
different things. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
and it is that thing of obviously with yourself and your music, you plug in YouTube and it's in your face. It's
Yeah.
everything. It's I don't want to say like it's offensive. It's like an assault on you because it's like, boom, I'm in. It's heavy. It's like there's like tracks about guns and sex and everything, and I'm like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
cool. This is exactly what this is. And then you're like, oh no, no, no,
Yep.
no, no. I write romance poetry in my spare time. Like,
Pretty
just,
much. Yep.
well, you won't see that.
No. No. I'm
No,
trying
no,
to think. Is there any song you'll see that? Not really. A few maybe.
it's there. It's just in between the lines, right?
Yeah.
Like in the
It
footnotes.
that's that's a different. I guess that's the private part of me
Yeah,
that a
that's,
lot of people don't see.
that's interesting. I like it. All right, I'm going to expect a ballad album in like 2 or 3 years. We're
I
plug
got
it.
you.
Abby's
I
just going to
got
have
you.
like romance.
It's gonna be a secret album just for you.
I like it. I'll wait for it. It'll be there one day. I'll plug it in.
One day, one day.
It'll be Whitney coming through the tunes. I'll
Oh
just be like, no, it's
man.
Abby. She's
Right.
yes.
Exactly.
Crazy. Um, no, yeah, I mean, I'm the same. Like the stuff I create in my spare time versus the stuff which I put out is much more gentle.
Yeah.
Like, but it's vulnerability. I think that's actually maybe probably a good question. Like, obviously, you don't know why you do it or why you react in one way or another to the work which you put out. But as a genre of music, rap is a lot of that. It's a lot of this is something we're representing, but it's not
Right.
necessarily who I am as a person. Like,
Right. Well, I'm a better person, but I mean, like I said, I rap about my experiences and stuff. You feel
yeah,
what I'm saying? But that's not the only side of me. I'll say that it's not the only side of me.
yeah.
You know, it's not just all like hardcore and grit. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm a kind of emotional person, and everything like that. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm with the shit too. Don't get it twisted. But
Do you think it's hard for people to kind of recognize that when they meet you as a person? Like to separate what's on screen from kind of getting to chat to you or anything like that? Because I think that's something a lot of performers find is like at some point someone's going to come along and be like, oh yeah, so you're all this, and when you're like, actually yeah, but I'm there's much more to me than just what you're seeing. I'm not 24/7 running
I
guns
think
starting
my,
code.
I think when I meet people, I think my energy speaks for itself when I meet people
Yeah,
in person. I'm a kind, loving person. Like I said, I show love and everything. So I don't think I don't think people just hold me to that, especially not if they meet me in person.
yeah. I think it's good to have an audience who can do that as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned obviously performing at Pride festivals,
Hmm.
and I think as a kind of what's the word type of festival, I'd say those audiences are a lot more receptive to that kind of thing. You
Yeah.
know, whereas like a standard music audience wouldn't necessarily lead into it. They'd just be like, oh no, this is what's on stage. This is what they do. I mean, is
Right.
Pride pretty important to you? I'm assuming. Like,
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just like it's a community that's helping catapult me to the forefront too. You feel what I'm saying? And then also, I'm a huge believer in like representation matters. You feel what I'm saying? Like
mm-hmm.
shout out to people like Young M.A. or Kamaya, people who aren't necessarily even like Rhapsody, who aren't necessarily the typical like female rapper. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And representation matters. Like years ago, I didn't have the confidence because I didn't see anybody like in the industry like me. You get what I mean? So
yeah,
that's why I said I think it's important, especially for me when I do pride shows and pride festivals, to show people like, hey, you could do it. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you can't do it because, of your sexuality or because of whatever case, stigmas, or you don't you don't fit the, cookie cutter image of what a lot of the predominant artists are, it doesn't matter. You can still do it and you can still do it in your lane.
yeah. No, I can definitely agree. It's one of these things like if you don't see it, you are always going to think that you can never be that, or you can never kind
Exactly.
of adhere to that. Is a way of kind of getting your passion out there, essentially, getting involved with everything.
Exactly.
Sorry, I've realized that I look like a zebra, but it's because the sun's going down and the blinds have made everything.
What time is it there?
Oh, it's like 8:45 at night.
No way.
Okay,
Wow.
there we go.
Wow, wow, wow. I've
Oh
never been to the UK.
no,
I was hoping to have done some festivals out there. I think we have like a UK contact or something like that. So hopefully I'll be in the UK soon when everything's opening back up and we can meet
yeah,
in person or something.
that'd be pretty cool. That'd be cool. I mean, if it's not a rude question, I'm kind of curious how old you are.
487.
487. You look good for 487.
Thank you.
No
Thank you.
grays or anything. See, again, like we couldn't be more comparatively different. My hair looks like I've been dragged through a bush. You look fucking neat.
That vamp life. It's that vampire life.
I don't know, man. Like I'd get lost in a snowstorm.
It looks good though. Your hair has a nice bounce and volume to it. I like it.
I could be in shampoo adverts. It's true. Like I do have enough volume for several
You
people.
have a future in being a shampoo hair model, man.
I
They
like it.
can they gotta get you in them Old Spice shampoo commercials. You know the ones when they just got like the little towel or the robe. and you just came out of the shower, you just did your whole shit. Yeah,
Do the slow motion flip backwards.
exactly.
Yeah, that's the way, right? That's what we need. We need more unkempt people on
Yeah.
TV. So many people are clean cut on TV. We need someone
Oh
who
man.
comes off the street and looks like he's not shaved in several years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had a haircut the other day. That's
I
just
like it. It looks good, man. It looks
yeah.
good now, really.
Oh, no, yeah. I think it's always interesting as well seeing like US versus UK kind of music and like the
Yeah.
genre differences. Do you listen to like a lot of UK music at all?
I know about UK drill.
Yeah.
That's that's really as far as I know. What band is from the UK that I listen to? Is it fuck. They
You've been put
sing
on the
that
spot
song.
now.
They sing
Could it be Kings of Leon? Could it be?
it's not Kings of Leon. You know that song like I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing.
I don't know that song. I can Google this. Yeah.
It's called like Break Even or something.
Script? The script?
Yeah, the script. Are the script from the UK?
No idea. No, I know of the script, but I don't know if they're from the UK. I will look it up. Ooh,
If
this
the
is
script is from the UK, I'll listen to them.
script. They're Irish, so
Oh, okay,
potentially UK, depending on which part of Ireland they're from, because
there we go.
regions.
That's yeah, like I said, UK drill, and if the scripts
Yeah.
are from the UK, then that's as far as I know. That's really as much as I know.
I could easily see you kind of getting into the drill scene in the UK. Right.
Oh yeah, I like the UK drill.
Yeah.
They be gassing for sure.
UK drill scene is a scene with music which genuinely scares me. Like, like, like it's one of those genres of music you don't even know what to do with it if you've never heard it, right? It's like
Yeah,
I listen to a lot of heavy music and a lot
yeah.
of like heavy rock and heavy metal, and I like that is heavy. And then someone put on drill, and I was like, it comes out of nowhere. Like,
A UK drill, man.
yeah, I don't know. Okay, I guess that you mentioned like R&B, but like when you make music, do you go as heavy as you can, or is there more to it? Like, are you attempting to kind of like, you know, not shock, but wake people up? I guess.
Not at all. Like I said, it just depends on what's going on at the time, and like I might start it off with like one line and just build off of that, or start it off with a melody, build off of that. So it just depends really. But I don't go in there like, okay, I'm about to say some crazy shit.
Really?
I know it's hard to believe, but no, I don't just go in there like I'm about to say some off
I
the
like
wall
the
shit.
idea you just like sat there with like a
I
pad, just
think
like, what's the most fucked up thing I could say
what's
today?
the craziest shit I can come up with, right? Yeah.
Are you fairly quick when you work? Like, you get an idea and you get it done within like a week, or is it something you spend a lot of time like slowly refining as you kind of go?
Well, really, it depends. Like one day I might write 7 songs in a day, and then I might.
It's 7 songs in a day.
I think that's my record. That's as many
Jeez,
songs I've written in a day.
that's a lot. I know you said
Uh,
you work a lot, but seven.
and that's not even a lot to me. Like I feel like yeah, but that's a lot. I want to write 10 songs in a day or something more like that. On average, I want that to be my average. But at the same time, I try not to rob myself of that creative process. I don't want to just rush it to where it's like forced, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes I gotta sit myself down and I gotta focus because I am having writer's block or something like that. But there's different things that I do to try and get myself out of that writer's block.
I'm curious now. What do you do? Or are
Um,
these things we can't talk about on TV?
no, no, you tell me. This your show, man.
This isn't exactly a
I'm playing.
children's show,
Um,
so
nah, like I might just like, okay, for example, if I'm not feeling good like creatively or something, I might just, get up with my people and try and feed off of their energy. And shout out to Swinner the Gang, the label right now, and Ricky the Bro, Dig Past the Juice, most of everybody over there at Swinner the Gang, man. So I might just give it my brothers and just try and get creative that way. Or I might another thing I do is like shit, let me go out to the because I work a lot, you know what I'm saying? I do a lot of logistical things. So if I'm having writer's block, I'm like, all right, I need to go and have some fun. You feel me?
Yeah.
I need to go party a little bit. I need to go to the bar, to the club, to the strip club. I need to go, you feel me? Like, let me get my energy a little bit fun, get that shit up, and then it typically will help my writing process.
Got to relax in order to create.
Exactly.
Definitely. I think it's nice to hear kind of that you do enjoy just kind of the creative process, essentially. Like,
yeah, I mean, I love it. Definitely.
Yeah. It's do you find it fairly cathartic, like as a way of kind of just kind of getting things out, getting your emotions on a page or in a track?
I think so, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think it's one of those things which I find a lot when I speak to artists. If they tend to get into a bit of a rut where they're creating, like you say, where it becomes a forced habit and where it becomes more like a job. Like,
yeah.
And I think that's a real risk for people, especially someone like yourself who does create a lot. It can become very much like, no, I'm going to make 10 tracks a day. If I don't make 10 tracks a day, then I've failed, sort of thing.
Oh no, I don't even use the F word. No, I'm kidding. Failure's good, it teaches you things, but
yeah.
One thing that I've learned is to appreciate the small things. Appreciate the small accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because as long as you're moving forward, you're getting something done. And, I used to put a lot of pressure on myself and not really applaud myself for any of the progress or any of the steps that I've taken forward, but that's a really important thing, just appreciating and applauding yourself for the smaller goals that you've accomplished is super important. Even celebrating them. Shit, hey, I just gotta put on as a headliner at a pride. Fuck yeah, I'm about to take myself on a dinner date. Like, I'm about to go and have drinks or something to celebrate me. You feel me? So I think that's definitely important.
Definitely. I think I can fully agree with that. I especially think that you should always take yourself out on a date. Like,
I do all the time.
like
Just solo.
you
I
got
think
to. Like, I don't understand
I'm
people
like
who
a
don't.
fucking
Yeah.
sociopath or something. They're like, you go out by yourself? I'm like, absolutely, all the time. I
It is.
love it.
It's a tangent, but yeah, like that is one of these things that you hear quite a lot. People are like, "What? You went out on your own?" I'm like, yeah. Like,
I go out by myself all the time.
what are you gonna do? Sit at
Table
home?
for one.
Well, granted, you're
Table for one.
yeah. Table for one. Go see a movie on my own.
Exactly.
That makes me sound slightly weirder, but
Hey man, it's good. Like I said, shit. Spending time with ourselves, that's important too.
just as much as support from friends and fans and everything like that. I think these are good messages to round this out. Yeah. Don't get burned out.
Yep.
1. Look after yourself. 2. I forgot the third point.
No care.
But no, I think this has been fascinating to learn it. Like I say, yeah, it's nice to meet someone who enjoys so much what they do as yourself. Has a real drive and knows what they want out of everything.
Definitely.
And it's refreshing from my standpoint. It's refreshing from kind of like an industry standpoint, and it's nice to meet you as a person. This is kind of like when I was reached out to on your behalf.
Yeah.
Handlers again. Yeah. It's almost like you're an explosive, and someone's just like, we need to hand Ebbie off to someone. It's gentle, but it'll be okay. But yeah, when I kind of like saw your things, but then like reading into it and reading around it, I was like, no, actually, this is a person who I need to know more about. Right? This is someone I need to chat to and see what they're like in person, because they can't be everything that's on screen.
Yeah, it can't just be just fucking just defying everything, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
Like if
Nah, like
you,
I said, I'm
I was just say like if you were everything you were on screen 100 times a day, you wouldn't be alive. Like,
yeah, right. Life in a fast lane.
that's fascinating. Burn out or fade away. that's,
See?
that's the
Now
thing.
now I hope you got a more well-rounded view of me.
Definitely have more around of you, and it's been lovely to speak to you, Abby.
Thank you, Graham. Appreciate meeting you, man. Thank you for having me on the show. And like I said, I'll be in the UK soon. I know it, so we're gonna have to link up there.
Yeah, if you come over, I mean, I imagine if you're into drill, it'll be down in London.
Only if you make me breakfast.
Oh,
If you make me,
you're in England, of course you're gonna get
you
breakfast.
gotta make me that English breakfast with the baked beans.
Are you on English breakfast, like a proper English breakfast?
Hey,
I
you
mean,
know when it
do you eat
rolls.
meat? Like,
You know what? I'm pescatarian, but if I'm in a different country or a different culture, I will try, the
yeah.
customary food.
I mean, England's fairly vegetarian friendly as well, so there is a
Yeah,
decent like vegetarian. But yeah, if you come here, you're probably gonna have to eat some sausage and bacon because
no problem. I'm with it.
no offense to the US, but the bacon in the US is terrible.
It don't compare.
Well,
It
it's
doesn't
just like a
compare.
different cut of bacon, and
Woo!
I went to. In fact, I was in San Diego, and someone gave me bacon, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
What is this? Okay, so I got to get up on that UK bacon.
You do. You need it. It's better. It's like you like the thin strips. Ours is like an inch thick, and then it's like
Don't forget about me, Grandma. I'm gonna let you know when I'm coming out there. We're gonna have a nice UK breakfast.
you take me to a drill concert. I'll be terrified.
Exactly. Take you to a drill concert and make sure you're okay.
You'll be fine. We'll go to a drill concert. We'll get wrecked. We'll go out the next day and get breakfast.
There we go.
That's the plan. I like it.
That's the plan.
Definitely the plan.
Don't forget it.
All right. Just as a kind of final sign off, where can people find your music?
Yeah, you can find it anywhere. YouTube, Spotify. What's you guys' streaming service in the UK? Is there anything different?
No, we're on
Apple
Spotify, Amazon,
Music,
Apple, like everything's over here.
YouTube, Amazon, everywhere. Say what's up to me on Instagram, slide in my DMs, Snapchat, everywhere. Like I said, I'm gonna always show love, and I'm gonna show love to every single person for as long as I can. When it start getting up into the hundreds and thousands and millions and stuff like that, I'm gonna still do my best to do it as much as I can. But really, right now, while I'm super accessible, make sure show me some love. I'm gonna show some back.
I'm sure they will. On that note, we will talk to these guys later.
Yep.
Bye.
All right, Grandma. I appreciate you, man.